So first in AI and marketing this week, we have the little report that came out of the IAB that's indicated that half of agencies, brands and publishers are to implement full-scale AI adoption by 2026. So this is the first of such a report to come out of the IAB, which is really looking at industry benchmarks around AI adoption and usage across the sort of publishing and agency world. In essence, it says that, yeah, everyone's looking at it, everyone's leaning in, everyone is pushing for full-scale adoption, but they're not quite there yet, which somewhat reflects the experience that I have talking to our customers and potential customers. Clearly, AI is redefining these two industries. In the report, it talks about how agencies and publishers are leading the way, with over 70% of them finding AI effective in reducing manual work and improving efficiency. And that's because there's a lot of opportunity within marketing. In the recent months, we've heard of the rise of vibe marketing, which if you don't know what that is, I can do a video on that soon. But anyway, it's clearly coming into this industry in leaps and bounds. All the big agencies have committed huge amounts of spend towards it. It's just not there yet. One company, though, that is leaning into the world of AI is H&M, and that's because they've just announced that they're going to be using AI-generated models in their social media campaigns. Now, what it sounds like they've done is they've actually taken real models and then generated AI versions of those models so that they can now go and use those AI likenesses in all sorts of different places with all sorts of different, obviously, clothing, I would have thought, which is a really interesting idea. Actually, they've got the full permission, obviously, of the models, which then makes you start to think about when are we going to see a company that's essentially its entire business is rights management for potential influencers and famous people and models and all those sorts of things. Is that coming? I suspect it might be. But once we have AI-generated versions of these people, does that then completely devalue them? Who knows? But anyway, a really interesting move from H&M. Feels like a really sensible one too. Jury's still out on whether the output of these models is under copyright protection. TBD, I guess. We don't really have any case law yet. But super interesting to see the large brands leaning in one more time with generative AI type outputs. Then we had a report out of Meta this week around how its AI systems are doing such great stuff. Actually, this is just really them breaking down how their sort of new AI advertising platforms that they have, I guess, are working. And essentially, they said there are three systems at play when you place ads within the Meta ecosystem. The first is one they call Meta Gem, which is all about analyzing overall user response to ads across all the different Meta systems. Then you've got Meta Lattice, which oversees how the various ads are made available and how different ad types of promotion are shown to each user. And then you've got Meta Andromeda, which sort of learns personal preferences of the users and ensures that the ad system is serving up stuff that they want to see. So those three things all working together, of course, they're all combined with a sequencing system. And overall, that's essentially what's making up this Advantage Plus system that Meta has, which a lot of people say a lot of good things about. You know, once upon a time, you needed social media managers and ad managers to put all these levers for you and do all the heavy lifting. Now you sort of can just put the stuff into the platforms and press play, and it does a lot of the work for you. And Meta aren't the only folks that do this. Many of the others are doing it as well. So interesting for them to actually sort of lift the hood a little bit on how that works. And finally, I tend to stay away from these announcements out of the big foundational models, but I thought this one is super interesting. If you haven't tried it out, it's well worth going to do. And that is that OpenAI have integrated this image generation system into 4.0, where you can now just go in there and ask it to generate images for you. Of course, they did have DALL-E, which was pretty good, but this is phenomenal. Really, really impressive stuff. Upload a previous image, get it to generate something with that image. It does text really well. You can get posters drawn up. From an advertiser point of view or a marketer's point of view, this is really, really good stuff. You can sort of really quickly generate some ads, see how they're going to work, and start playing around with things. So well worth going and playing around with the new GPT 4.0 image generation. I think you'll be pretty impressed.